Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the series. This episode is gonna be a little bit different from the other episodes. Because normally you're used to, I do the speedrun and I comment it while I'm playing it. But since this one speedrun, it has a lot more going on and there's a lot more to commentate, I decided to just first do the speedrun normally and then I'm gonna do a voiceover of it. So yeah, this is a minimum captures speedrun, as the name suggests. I'm gonna be beating the entire game without capturing, capturing the least amount of things possible, which in 1.3, which is the current version of Mario Odyssey, the minimum amount of captures that you're able to beat the game with is 4. Okay, I bonked there, It wouldn't be a speedrun of mine if I didn't bonk and choke everything. Yeah, you can beat the game while only capturing 4 things. And the thing is, this speedrun is very difficult, since to skip most of the intended captures you need to do a lot of crazy stuff. For example, here at the start, you're supposed to capture the frog and climb all the way to the top of the tower, but instead of that, no. You're just gonna have to do this jump, which is a very precise jump. I got it there. It's a lot more difficult than it looks, trust me. Yeah, so we climb the rest of the tower without ever capturing the frog. And as I'm doing the speedrun, I'm gonna be commentating a little of what I'm doing and what I need to do. Because like I said, to skip most of the captures, we're gonna need to use some very precise skips, some glitches, and some other crazy stuff you're about to see. Yeah, just like that, we defeat Topper, and we are able to leave Cap Kingdom. And this right here is gonna be our first capture of the run, which is the Spark Pylon, to get to Cascade Kingdom. That's only the first out of 4 captures in the whole run. Okay, just to tell you, the 4 captures are gonna be... The first 3 are gonna be 3 Spark Pylons, and then the 4th one is gonna be Bowser in Moon Kingdom. And that's it. Those are all of the captures that we're gonna need in this run. So yeah, once we get here to Cascade Kingdom, this is where the crazy stuff is about to begin. See, normally you're supposed to capture a chain jump and break the rock to get the first moon, but instead we're gonna do this jump, which again is a lot harder than it looks, so we need to skip the first moon and do a cap jump to get to the second part of the land, which, if you don't know, the angle I have to dive to get to that part is very precise, because there's an invisible wall that prevents you from... tries to prevent you from going in, so I need to dive in the correct spot where there's a gap that lets me go in between. And here, yeah, there's also another glitch. I need to ground pound that exact same spot where I can clip out of bounds into the treasure chest moon, and then when I get the treasure chest moon, I can clip out of bounds again to get to this part where there's an invisible platform. I need to jump my way up to the part where the Odyssey is. It's still out of bounds. To go here, and then I'm gonna grab this rock. Well, not yet, because I messed it up and I threw a cappy at the rocks while messing up everything. It's okay, I can have a little backup here. Yeah, I can do a long jump here and then go all the way up. And this invisible platform, there's a lot of blind platforming in this run, so you kinda have to be good at memorizing stuff. Yeah, we go into this part right here, we do a long jump to get to the other side of the wall. And then I have to enter the 8-bit pipe, which is up there. Now, normally you're supposed to capture the chain jump to break the entire wall and be able to go into this section, but no, we can just go out of bounds, do a couple jumps, and we enter the 8-bit pipe, just like that. Now, it's a little bit difficult because I need to do this whole part blindfolded. Eventually we get the 8-bit moon. All of this that we're doing is so that we can skip the Madame Brute boss fight. So in order to leave the kingdom, you need 5 moons, and there's exactly 5 moons loaded in the kingdom that you can get without fighting Madame Brute. So we're gonna be doing all that we can to get those 5 moons. Because those 5 moons you can get them without captures, and those 5 moons require to do glitches and skips and other crazy stuff. Like, there's not a single moon in this run in Cascade Kingdom that you can get without glitches. So it's just we're gonna be doing another glitch called a Cappy Return Cancel. This is why we have to go into 2-player mode, Okay, I'm gonna be explaining this a little more in detail after we do it. But basically, we're gonna leave Cappy there. We're gonna roll our way down while avoiding the chain chomps. Just gonna keep rolling, rolling, rolling until we get to this log right here. And we have to position Mario in a very precise spot. We have to line it up with the rock ahead. It needs to be at the correct angle or else it won't work. So yeah, we crouch, we shake the Cappy controller, and then Cappy's up to the island where the painting is. How did that happen? You're gonna see in just a few moments, don't worry. Yeah, that's the third moon. Yeah, the reason why we skipped the first moon is because if we get the first moon, the bridge lowers, and then this spot that we can ground pound to clip out of bounds, we cannot ground pound that spot anymore. So that's what it's important to leave the first moon for last. And just like before, we go here, we do a triple jump to get into the part where the Odyssey is. And then we have to perform another glitch called the rock slide. We just need to grab this rock, get in the right position, and then we're gonna start sliding. Because the rock and Mario are gonna be both half out of bounds. And it's gonna keep pushing us until we hit a wall. Yeah, and right here I need to pause buffer, because the rock is gonna disappear, and as soon as it disappears, I need to be ready to cap jump. So yeah, right there it disappears. I do a cap jump, and then I get the moon that's behind the wall. Since the window to cap jump after the rock disappears is super duper tight, if I'm like even like a couple milliseconds later, I won't be able to do it. That's why I need to pause buffer to make sure to cap jump exactly at the moment the rock disappears. So yeah, we go out of bounds one more time. We swim all the way to the first moon. We do a couple jumps here and there. Get ready. And we're inside of the rock. And that's it. We have captured our last moon in Cascade Kingdom, which is our first power moon, ironically. But yeah, just like that, we have gotten all the 5 moons in Cascade Kingdom without a single capture. And without fighting Madame Brood. Yeah, just in case you're curious, if we go back to Cascade Kingdom after not fighting Madame Brood, the game automatically gives you the moons, the multi-moon for fighting her. But that's only on 1.3, because in the version 1.0, if you leave Cascade Kingdom without fighting Madame Brood, you cannot find Madame Brood again and you cannot get the multi-moons. That save file is impossible to 100% again. And if you thought Cascade Kingdom was insane, oh boy, you haven't seen anything yet. Now here on Sand Kingdom, we're gonna be pretty much doing the same route as any percent, but there's gonna be a twist here, and that is that we're actually gonna be fighting Harriet. We're gonna be fighting Harriet because we need the Sand Kingdom to turn into Night Sand Kingdom, because doing so will unlock the Metro Kingdom painting. And why we need to unlock the Metro Kingdom painting? Well, you're gonna see in just a few moments. The first part of Sand Kingdom is not that interesting, because these are all moons that you can normally get without captures. Yeah, and something that I forgot to mention is that during most of the run I'm gonna be playing with 2 controllers, which means I'm gonna be playing with both my hands and my feet. I'm gonna be controlling Mario with my hands and I'm gonna be controlling Cappy with my feet, which is not as easy as it sounds. But you know, once you do a lot of these runs, you can kinda get used to it. I'm not at that point yet. And this part we just need to manipulate the bullet bill to break this rock so that we can get the moon. Yeah, once we go into this part right here, it's important that we grab this checkpoint, because that checkpoint is gonna save us a lot of time later in the run. Yeah, and we're gonna be doing the Sphinx Moon and the hidden room inside the inverted pyramid, because we need a couple coins for this run. I'm pretty sure that the exact number that we need is 420 moons. Nice. So that we are able to get all the moons that we need. Now here on this part, I'm gonna be switching back into two-player mode because I need to do a roll cancel clip in order to clip inside the inverted pyramid, which is not impossible to do on two-player mode, but it's much harder. Now, normally you need to hit the two roll buttons and the jump button kind of at the same time, like but in quick succession. But if you're in two-player mode, in order to do the roll cancel, you need to hit the cap throw button and the jump button at the exact same frame, which is a lot more precise. And the advantage of being in one-player mode is that it gives you a bigger time window. So just like that, we enter the inverted pyramid, no problem. We just do this part without any captures. And here's the reason why we go into two-player mode. Because when you're in 8-bit mode, in two-player mode, if you hold the jump button with Cappy, oh my gosh, I'm so dumb, you can actually hover for a little time. You see, when I jump and I hover for a bit, Cappy's little eyes show up. That's the indication of me hovering. It's not really that much useful throughout the whole run, but you know, it's something cool that we can do. Even if it only saves for like 1.5 seconds or something. Yeah, we get this mount so that we can get the amount of coins that we need for the end. And now we just need to make our way to Harriet. Something that I should note is that, unlike the other runs that I've done so far, for this run I didn't have a route. I had to, because you know, on the resources you usually can see a route for every speedrun, but for this one there wasn't a route. I had to do one myself to follow. I mean, there are some kingdoms where the route is not that insane, it's just like normal any percent, but for some others the route can get a little confusing, so that's why I needed to make a document for myself. Yeah, just like that, we defeat Harriet and we are done with Sand Kingdom for now. Here, after depositing the moons in the Odyssey, we're gonna do something interesting. Instead of going to Lake Kingdom, we're gonna be selecting Wooded first. Why? You're gonna see in just a few moments. But trust me, it is very important to a run. If I select Lake first, I'm gonna be losing quite a lot of time. You know, it's not all moons, but it can kind of feel like it. And as for the route in here, it's gonna be not that different from any percent, but we're still gonna make a few of the routes here and there. Yeah, right here you're seeing the advantages of using two-player mode. I can make those cappy jumps with the second controller, which you're not able to do in one-player mode. Although here I struggle a little bit because you know I'm not that used to play with my hands and feet at the same time yet. Like someone who's used to playing with their hands and feet in this run, you can see it's kind of insane. For me, sadly, it's not the case yet, but maybe if I run this category of a little more, I'm gonna be able to be a lot better at it. So here we do the backup strat for any percent, where we just climb up this wall casually. And then we run across this ramp, which since I am bad at the game, I don't know how to do yet. Now, it took me a couple tries, but eventually I got there. You know, just whenever you're failing at something, you know, just keep trying until you eventually get it. Yeah, once we climb this wall, we get this nut right here, and then we jump down to the rest of the kingdom. Ouch. Of course, the uproot always has to be in the worst spot ever. This is the other advantage of using two-player mode. I can kind of just break that rock instantly. I mean that rock, that nut. So the advantage that I have here is that, well, you're gonna see that now we're gonna jump down to the kingdom. And since I got the backup moon from the nut that grew on the fence, I don't need to get the fire in the cave moon, which takes a long time. Now the one where you have to throw Cappy at the scarecrow and then kill the fireball inside it, we will have to get that moon. But since we did the backup, it's not necessary. Yeah, once we get that moon, we go into flooding pipe wave, and then we warp back up again. Yeah, for some people still think that the Scarecrow is a capture for some reason. That's silly. Scarecrow's not a capture because you don't take control of the Scarecrow. You just throw Cappy at it to open the door. Like, the game doesn't even register as a capture on the capture list. And here, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what I was thinking of. Thought I could do damage less, but my stupidity didn't let me. Yeah, funny enough, in this kingdom we're gonna have to do, because in 80%, there's the normal 80% where you fight, I mean like the beginner 80% where you fight Speward, and then there's the backup 80% where you get the story moon, but you die, where you get the story moon, but you don't fight Speward, and instead do the nut moons. But here we're gonna do a combination of those, because we're gonna get the nut moons, and we're also gonna be fighting Speward. Because some of the moons that we need to get on the normal 90% route are not available, because they need captures. Which would be the three. The nut in the red maze, and then the ones inside the tower. And here, okay, yeah, that's great. Yeah, since the 2 moons inside the tower can only be obtained with the uproot. I mean, they can actually be obtained without the uproot, but you need to be insane at 2-player mode in order to get them, which I am not, so instead I'm just gonna skip the tower. Now we're just gonna jump all the way to the top and get to the Speward boss fight. Just like that, Speward has been defeated. And now we're finished with Wooded Kingdom. And guess where are we going now? What do you think I guess? Where do you think we're going now? Yep, that's right. We're going back to Sand Kingdom. And we're not gonna be doing Lake Kingdom just yet, because we still have some unfinished business in Sand Kingdom. See, I remember how I said that we needed to fight Harriet in order to unlock the painting to Metro Kingdom? Well, now this is the reason why. Because as you may know, when you get to the Metro Kingdom painting, you can get a nice preview of the kingdom. Like, from a very, very far away island. And you will think, well, there's no way that you can get to the mainland from here. Obviously, it's super far away. But no, you can actually get to the main kingdom from this little island. And you're gonna see how in a moment. We need to position ourselves in this slope right here. You hear that? You hear that beat? That's the beat that we're gonna need in order to know when to grandpa with Cappy. So yeah, this is basically another version, or like a harder version of what we did in Cascade Kingdom. You remember how we let Cappy in the upper part of the island and then we teleported him to the painting island? We're gonna do something similar here. This glitch is called Cappy Return Cancel, and in order what we're doing is just teleporting Cappy. At first we need to ground pound a lot of times to get Cappy very far down, since there isn't a limit of how far you can ground pound with Cappy into the void. And then that vertical distance that Cappy is away from us, we're gonna convert it into horizontal distance in order to hit the checkpoint on the main island. And we use that beat in order to know how to time the ground pounds. It's a little difficult to explain how this glitch works since I'm not that familiar with it yet. But basically, if you shake the controller while you're crouching, there's a few animations where Cappy doesn't return to Mario and instead, like, appears like in front of him, depending on how far he was. And one of those animations is crouching. So if we make Cappy teleport to us while we're crouching, and then we cancel the teleport by pressing the Y button at the exact time, like right here, listen. Yeah, you see how Cappy moved all the way back there? Yeah, now we need to climb this box, we need to go into 1-player mode. Then we need to go into first-person mode and snapshot immediately. And we need to aim at the checkpoint. It doesn't matter if it's not perfectly, since vertical distance doesn't matter. But unfortunately, I messed up and I didn't do enough ground pounds. I was like maybe 1 or 2 ground pounds short. So Crappy didn't reach the checkpoint, so I had to do it again. But, you know, it's no big deal. It's only like what, 2 minutes of time loss? And I had a very good Cascade Kingdom, so it really doesn't matter. But yeah, that final part where we have to teleport Cappy and then cancel the teleport. Yeah, we need to hit the Y button and then we need to hit it a second time. We need to hit it exactly 3.13 seconds after the first input. And I think the time window for this, it's only like 5 frames or 0.08 seconds. Yeah, it's a very tight time window, so I really don't feel that bad for messing it up. Yeah, so just to sum up all that we're doing here is first we need to ground pound with Cappy exactly 54 times. Then we need to crunch with Mario, we need to hit Y with Cappy, then we need to hit Y again 3.13 seconds later. Then after Cappy teleports, I need to pause the game, I need to climb Mario on top of this box, then I need to go into one-player mode, I need to go into first-person mode, into snapshot mode, then I need to aim at the checkpoint. Then once I'm aiming right at the checkpoint, I need to exit snapshot mode and immediately go into two-player mode. Then as soon as the transition starts back to the game, I need to crouch with Mario as soon as I can and start shaking with the Cappy controller. And then if everything went right, Cappy should hit the checkpoint, which did not happen the first time, unfortunately. But I did it the second time. So it wasn't really that big of a deal. Yeah, it's important that Mario right here is standing on the slope. If Mario is not standing on the correct slope position, it's not gonna work. Cappy is just gonna teleport back to me. Well, and obviously crouching, as I said before. Okay, here's the beat. That bit's for the first input. And then that bit is for the second input. Now there's actually another method of doing this, when instead of timing the 2 inputs, you can just shake the controller. But that method makes it so that the time window to climb on top of the box is super duper tight, and I'm not that good at it yet, so I prefer to just do the input and I have more time to climb the box. Yeah, right here, after we go back into 2-player mode, yeah, I'm crouching with Mario and I'm shaking the controller, the Pro Controller, and just like that, Cappy teleports to the checkpoint, and now I can warp to the main island and just start collecting moons. So yeah, now we're in daytime Metro Kingdom without ever fighting the Mecha Wiggler or anything. Isn't that insane? And of course, just to add on to the glitches, we just, you know, kind of clip inside the box to get the moon. So yeah, now in case you're wondering, well, why don't people just do this in the any % route, since, you know, by doing this you can skip Lake, Wooded, and Lake Kingdom, Wooded Kingdom, Clan Kingdom, and Lost Kingdom. That would be like a plus 10 minutes time save, wouldn't it? Plus the time it takes to defeat the Mecha Wiggler. But yeah, here's the thing. If you get to Metro Kingdom here, like early, the Odyssey is not in the kingdom yet, so you're not allowed to leave. Since you haven't unlocked this kingdom yet, you know, unlocking the kingdom means selecting it from the menu screen, and the Odyssey is not here yet, so you cannot leave the kingdom, sadly. Even after we get all of the moons here, we still need to do the rest of the kingdoms. The Odyssey is programmed in a way that it's very difficult to skip a kingdom in a run. You can do sequence break like this, which I think it's the only run, I mean, I think the first run, that actually uses such a massive sequence break like this. Now, sequence break before used to be just, you know, doing the IP clip so that you can skip the first 2 story moons and then leave the Wooded Kingdom and Lake Kingdom without collecting a lot of story moons. But this, we're doing an entire kingdom, like 4 kingdoms before we're intending to do it. Yeah, this speedrun is kind of wild, and I still find it pretty insane that you can just go into Metro Kingdom early, like there's no invisible wall or anything to prevent you from doing it. Because, you know, Nintendo didn't even think it was possible. Why would they put an invisible wall? And yeah, just for another sequence break, we're collecting the Musician story moons before we're fighting the Mecha Wiggler. Yeah, in case you're wondering about doing the festival without fighting the Mecha Wiggler, sadly that's not possible, because if you collect the 4 Musician Story Moons, you know, you're supposed to go into the sewers and then kill the 2 giant piranha plants in order to power up the station. But after you collect the 4 Musician Story Moons, the manhole is not there, so you cannot capture it. And if you go into the hole, the loading zone for the sewers is not there. You're just stuck in the hole forever. So what you can do without fighting the Mecha Wiggler is get the Musician Story Moons and die just like that. Oh my gosh, I love choking. Just get the Musician Story Moons and dip out. And this is the reason why I needed like a route document, because you know there are a few story moons, or I mean not story moons, just power moons in general, that I don't know if I'm available to collect without capturing anything. So I needed to be really careful with this. So usually I will be kind of scared of accidentally capturing anything, but not really. I mean, like in this run I'm never actually afraid of accidentally capturing anything, because I kind of know what I need to do, I kind of know where I need to go, and where I need to go there aren't really a lot of accidental captures that I might get. Oh yeah, we watched that hinter right there, so that we can just collect 19 moons while we're here. And then when we get to Late Kingdom, we can get that Hintard moon, so that it counts for the final moon in Metro Kingdom. Now, just to finish it off for now, we're gonna be doing the crowded room. And after collecting the second moon in here, you know how there's a pipe here that after you go through it, it's supposed to bring you to a little island with the rockets of area? Well, we enter the pipe, and guess what? It brings us to the mainland, like on the first island where the Odyssey is supposed to be. Yeah, that's called the Rome Warp in Metro Kingdom. I really don't know why it happens. I don't know why the game just gets a little confused and brings us all the way here. But you know, it works in our favor, so let's do it. And we're gonna take the painting to Lake Kingdom now. And this is where another wild thing happens. No, you're not supposed to go from that painting to this kingdom yet. So the game gets a little confused and the camera is stuck here. But we can still reach the boss fight and fight the boss with the camera stuck like this. Yeah, for some reason, if we get to the kingdom in a way that we're not supposed to, just the game like freaks out and then the camera just stays still and you cannot move it. Like if you try turning the camera, it doesn't work. It's just frozen like this forever. Yeah, you can still fight the boss like this. Yeah, the jump to get into the boss arena from the painting island is very precise, so I'm glad I was able to do it. You know, just to show off the glitch. And yeah, the camera is still stuck. Yeah, the solution for this is just to warp back to the checkpoint in that painting section. But you know, just doing the boss from here without ever warping is a lot faster. Yeah, it's worth to give it a try. And if you get it, great. If you don't get it, that's fine. You can just warp to the checkpoint and do it normally. And now we just need to collect the rest of the moons that we need in Lake Kingdom. And now this asks for what we did before. Why we first did Night Sand, then we went to Wooded Kingdom and then back to Sand Kingdom. It's because doing so unlocks the Odyssey in this kingdom. Now since we finished Sand Kingdom and then we went to Wooded Kingdom and everything, Lake Kingdom is unlocked now, which means after we get to this kingdom, the Odyssey is where it's supposed to be. Unlike Metro Kingdom where the Odyssey is not there. If we did Sand Kingdom and then immediately after Sand Kingdom we went to Metro Kingdom, we would have gotten to do Lake and then Wooded just normally. But doing this makes it so that we can skip a couple cutscenes, you know. The cutscene from going to Wooded Kingdom to Lake Kingdom, we can just skip that and just go to Lake Kingdom via the painting. And since we already unlocked the kingdom, you know, by having it on the select screen on the menu, we don't need to worry about not being able to do it. Because that is also a thing. If you fight the boss in this kingdom and the Odyssey is not there, which means the kingdom is not unlocked yet, the game just soft locks. Like you fight Rango, you get the cutscene, and then the game just freezes. You're not allowed to do anything other than just close the game and start again. So yeah, doing Night Sand, then Wooded, then going back to Sand, then doing Metro Kingdom, and then getting to Lake Kingdom via the painting is a lot faster and a lot more optimal. So yeah, Cloud Kingdom and Lost Kingdom, they are really not that different. They're the exact same since both of the kingdoms don't need a single capture, so we can just fast forward to this. Really nothing interesting happened. You know, aside from the fact that I for some reason died like 6 freaking times in Lost Kingdom for no reason. I don't know what happened to me, I just kind of choked everything. You know, let's not pay attention to it, let's just move on to Metro Kingdom. So we get to Metro Kingdom and now it's nighttime and the Mecha Wiggler is terrorizing the city and everything. But you know, that's none of our business. We have the moons that we need. We can just go. We can just leave. We don't need to do anything here. Dude, it's so funny how in this screen, little Peach is just, you know, screaming for help in the background while we're just stepping out. And now we're going to Snow Kingdom, which is a little more interesting. And so first, to start off the kingdom, we're gonna do something called a 2-player Snowdram, where basically we need to do like normal Snowdram. But once we get to the peak right here, I'm actually pausing the game so that I have time to grab my second controller and then control Cappy to capture the checkpoint, so that when we're done with the kingdom we can just warp to that painting island. Of course, like I said before, I'm not used to playing with my hands and feet, but if I was a little better at doing so, I could just, you know, not having to pause the game and just control Cappy with my feet to hit the checkpoint. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, so far the run in this kingdom has just kind of been the normal 90%, but we're gonna do a little change here since we have to get this moon first, the one in the Ringo room. But then after this one, we're gonna do something that we don't do in any other route, which is going to the Ice Snake room. Since this is the only room out of the 4 that the 2 moons inside don't require any captures. So I mean, in the Poison room, you can get the second moon without capturing the Taifu, but it takes a slowly unbearable amount of time. And on the Rengo room, you need to fight Rengo, which takes even longer. And then for the Icicle room, you need to capture the Goombas in order to get the first moon. Well, I mean, you can do a very precise clip in order to get the moon without capturing the Goombas, but no, I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm just gonna do this much easier room, where we can get the 2 moons without capturing anything. Now here, just to end things off, we're gonna get the first moon on the Poison room, only the first one. And then we're gonna warp to the Snowdram Island. Now just so that we can capture her. I mean, get the last moon, and we are out of here. On to Seaside now. Here on Seaside, there's also an interesting route. Here we're gonna also be using a lot of the 2-player movement, which I'm not that good at it yet, but I'm getting the hang of it. Slowly but surely. Now after we do a cool jump from this pipe, this is where the interesting stuff begins. Because we also need to do this very precise jump, just to skip having to climb all the cave from the canyon and just get to the moon easier this way, which I feel like 1,000 times, but like the stubborn idiot that I am, I just decided to just keep going and going and going until I get it. Yeah, just like that, just keep trying and you will eventually get there. Yeah, here we just do a backflip in order to get to the Captain Toad moon. Now we're finally able to move on. The rest of the moons don't really have a lot going on, and they're pretty unique, I gotta say. Well, maybe just a couple of them, like that one and this one right here. Okay, I still have no idea how I didn't get hit by that seaweed guy, so thank you. Here, I need to be really careful, because I have actually captured those binoculars before, accidentally. You know, after saying that I'm never usually worried about accidentally capturing anything, yeah, I've captured those binoculars before, which has been very embarrassing. So yeah, I just need to be careful to not do a cap jump there, and we're good to go. Yeah, once we're done with this, we just move on to Luncheon Kingdom. Yeah, here in Luncheon Kingdom, this is another kingdom where the route is actually gonna be pretty unique. This is something that people usually do, I mean top runners usually do on the any percent route, but since I am a dummy and I don't know how to do it, I only can do it here. And after burning my butt a bit. So yeah, this is something that I need to do, but since, like I said, I'm kind of an idiot, I forgot how to do it, and no, I just kind of had to try again. As we can see, we're trying to skip the Spewer boss fight. For two reasons. One, because it's very slow, it's a lot of work for just a single moon. And then the second one is because doing the fight only unlocks the lava bubbles on the kingdom, which we aren't really gonna be needing at all. And the reason why I don't do this in any percent is because I only know how to do it in two-player mode. Just like that, we skip this pure boss fight. I only know how to do it on two-player mode because I don't know how to do it like with a single cap bounce. So I always do it, you know, first falling into the lava and then doing a cap bounce out of the lava. Just to wall jump and then doing the rest of it. But yeah, this is another interesting thing. We're doing the magma swamp moons. You know, usually you just do the first one that's behind the starting area. You just go out, but no. Here I have to collect the shards. Which again, if I knew how to do better in two-player mode, I will be so much better at this. Because I've seen some clips of people that are able to do this room like at the same time with their feet and their hands, which is insane. Yeah, another reason why we don't do the spirit boss fight is because apart from being useless since it only unlocks the lava bubbles, the rest of the story moons in this kingdom, they all require captures. Now for the Under the Cheese Rocks moon, we need to capture the Hammer Bro, and then for the multi-moon, we need to capture the meat. So the story moons in this kingdom are not useful at all. And since getting that one story moon takes quite a lot of time, we're just gonna skip it. Yeah, this is another kind of precise jump. We need to get from this part all the way to that island with the jutting crack. Which again, I only know how to do in two-player mode. I don't think it's even possible to do it on one player. Well, maybe if you're good at the game, you will be able to do it. But I'm not, so thank goodness two-player mode is available. As you know, we cannot get to this island without the lava bubble. I mean, with the lava bubble, because they aren't unlocked yet. You know, just don't mind me, just having a bit of a struggle with the freaking spiny. This is another very precise jump that we need to do. Jump all the way from the Cheese Rock Island to the Mountains Island. Thank goodness two-player mode exists. There's actually some invisible blocks around there that can help you cross the gap in one-player mode, but I don't know what those hidden blocks are, so just going for the two-player alternative. Now, like I said, we cannot capture the meat, so we are instead gonna make our way to the spinning athletic sub-area. Yeah, like I said, the scarecrow is not a capture, we don't have to worry about that. Yeah, and just in case some people are wondering, the checkpoints are also not a capture. That's super silly to think. Like you don't take control of the checkpoint, you just activate the checkpoint by hitting it with Cappy and you can teleport to them. But you know, just as I am, I decided to just die here. Then I said, you know what, I'm not doing all of that. Oh, I'm doing that all over again. So instead we're just gonna jump to the remote island that's all the way here. And then normally you're supposed to do only this moon, which is the fixing the cracks moon. But since I didn't do the second one in the spinning athletics, I'm gonna have to do both the cracks one and the 8-bit one. Yeah, those cracks were actually not that bad. You know, a good thing is that we get a little dance break on here. We would have gotten it if I had done the spinning athletics moon. And now we just warp to Odyssey. And before finishing off, we do the timer challenge. Just like that, we are done with Luncheon Kingdom. Now here on Ruined Kingdom, even though Ruined Kingdom is only an arena where we fight the dragon, it's actually the kingdom where we have our second capture of the run, which is the Spark Pylon. And nobody knows if it's possible to skip this capture. It probably won't be possible for like at least a few years, because in order to skip that capture we will need to find a teleportation glitch that allows Mario to go up the arena, because you know the CRC is a glitch that allows Cappy to teleport, but since there isn't a checkpoint on Ruined Kingdom, we would need to teleport Mario himself on top of the arena, which yeah, it doesn't seem very likely. Yeah, do we just fight the dragon like normal and we can go. But yeah, obviously, all that we have been doing so far, that was only practice for the real challenge, Bowser's Kingdom. Now this is where the actual fun begins. Because you know the CRC that we had to do in Metro Kingdom? For Ambassador's Kingdom we need to do 3 of those, which are much harder. Because you know there are 6 wires that we need to take here. Well, you know, from island to island. Well, we need to skip them. And by doing so we need to do the CRCs in order to, you know, being able to warp to the checkpoints in each island without capturing any wires. The first one that we need to do here, we need to be at a very precise spot on this slope and be kind of looking at the checkpoint. But the position or looking is kind of lenient. And just like in Metro Kingdom, we just need to ground pound Cappy into the void for like a minute and a half. But yeah, unfortunately this is another CRC that I failed to the first try, but I got a second try, so I'm just gonna skip directly to the second try. And just like in Metro Kingdom, we need to do 50 ground pounds exactly. Now in Metro Kingdom there was 54, this time is 50. And yes, the number of ground pounds does matter, because it's the distance that we're gonna send Cappy away from us. If we don't do enough ground pounds, Cappy is not gonna reach a checkpoint, and if we do too many, Cappy is just gonna warp a little too far from the checkpoint. Yeah, now that we finish the ground pounds, just like in Metro Kingdom, I need to crouch with Mario and shake violently with the Cappy controller. Then once we see the Cappy icon teleport, we need to do a backflip and we need to stand on the very, very ledge of the roof. We need to be standing on the very ledge or else it won't work. And we go back into snapshot mode and we need to line the left side of the box with the line on the island, kind of like that. And now we switch back to 2-player mode. And here's something interesting that we have to do. As soon as the transition starts, I need to crouch with Mario, shake with the Cappy controller, and then as soon as I see Cappy teleport, I need to kill myself with Mario by rolling off the edge. Then you heard the checkpoint? It means we did everything correctly. So yeah, the reason why we need to die with Mario is because the checkpoint and the wire to get to this island are so close together that after capturing the checkpoint, or instead of capturing the checkpoint, Cappy might capture the pylon instead. So to prevent that, we need to die with Mario, because if we die with Mario, Cappy cannot capture anything other than the checkpoint, of course. And then since we capture a checkpoint instantly after dying, we just get teleported back, which is faster than selecting the map and teleporting manually to the checkpoint. So yeah, that's called a die to win. Now as for the second CRC, we need to be standing right here on this slope, and we need to do a 1-player setup. We have to position the snapshot box on a very precise spot again, which, trust me, is a lot more difficult than it sounds because of how jittery the camera tends to be. Yeah, something that I forgot to mention is that all of the CRCs, like you see in Metro Kingdom, I had to first do the Y input and then the second Y input on a precise timing. Well, for this one, we do something called shake to win, where instead of pressing the Y button to teleport Cappy, we just need to shake the controller and then Cappy gets teleported. Difference is that with shaking the controller, it's a little harder to chain multiple CRCs together, especially when you're in a tight time window on Metro Kingdom, because you know we need to climb the box. But for this ones, the time window is really not that difficult, or not that tight, I should say. On this one I didn't use the beat because you need to ground pound with Cappy exactly for, I mean you need to spam the ground pound button exactly for 69 seconds, nice, which is a little easier to just spam it during the required time instead of doing with the beat, and it's also faster. Yeah, unfortunately, once again, I messed up the CRC and I didn't get it first try, because there was something on the setup that I forgot to do, which was that I needed, before sending Cappy out and doing the ground pounds, I needed to do a full jump and then ground pound. Yeah, since I did it later, Cappy went a little too far to the left and missed the checkpoint. You know, it's fine, we can do it again. Yeah, I would say this CRC is the hardest one. Wait, maybe not the hardest one, but it's the most inconsistent one. Like, unlike the rest of the CRCs, I feel like this one is a lot more luck dependent than the other ones. You know, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't, and I never know what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong, honestly. Yeah, just like before, I need to position the box right there. I need to exit first person mode, snapshot mode. Then here I need to do a full jump and then ground pound. Because doing so will make Mario turn a little tiny bit to the left, which is the amount necessary so that he's facing the checkpoint. There's a faster but more precise two-player setup, which we need to adjust the camera and center it until the torch on the right is touching the edge of the screen, as it is right now. But yeah, doing so it's a lot harder because controlling the camera is very difficult, especially if you have it on high sensitivity. And yeah, for that the one-player mode is a much easier alternative. And like for my level of skill, doing the one-player setup takes a lot shorter than it would take me to do the two-player setup. Yeah, even top runners don't usually get this one CRC consistently, so I don't feel too bad about failing it. Yeah, and this CRC is also very easy to capture the pylon accidentally, so I'm very glad I didn't do it. Now I crouch Mario, I need to shake the Cappy controller, and as soon as I see the icon move, I need to backflip and then keep shaking, and Cappy just hits the checkpoint. But yeah, at this point, maybe you're thinking, well, if you have failed all of the CRCs up until now, why don't you just reset? But listen, I have been speedrunning this category for almost 8 hours straight, and I swear my mind was starting to go insane. This was only the third run to make it past Wooded Kingdom, and I was not going to reset it. I was on such a good pace that I was not gonna reset this run. Even as bad as it was gonna end, I had just resigned myself. It was the best run that I had yet. It was the third run to make it past Wooded Kingdom and the second run to actually make it to Bowser's Kingdom. See, I wasn't even thinking about resetting it. Nope. I just wanted to finish it all for good. So yeah, after getting this moon, it's time for the final CRC of this run, which is also the longest one. Because for this one, again, we need to position ourselves in this very part of the roof and then start to slowly turn to face the checkpoint to send Cappy all the way out. And for this one, we need to do 95 ground pounds, which takes over 3 minutes. Which means failing it will mean I have to do 3 minutes of this again. But thankfully, this was the one CRC that I actually got first try. Yeah, I swear, after doing this run, that beat has literally gotten stuck onto my head. Yeah, so you know how in the first CRC I had to backflip and get on the corner of the roof? Well, the timing window for hitting the second wide input on the Metro Kingdom CRC of 3.13 seconds, that's the time window I have from Cappy teleporting to me getting into position on the roof. So yeah, it's a pretty tight time window. If I take a little bit too long, the CRC is not gonna work and Cappy's just gonna teleport back to me. And not only is it very precise, I have to do it fast. I have to do it super quickly or else it won't work. So finally, after doing 3 minutes of this, I had to do the actual CRC, finally. I need to crouch with Mario and then start shaking with the Cappy controller. And as soon as I see him teleport, I need to backflip and then I have to stand on the crack on the roof right there. And I chose a pause buffer so that I can get into position a bit more easily instead of, you know, having a little less control over Mario since he moves a little bit too fast for me. Now, once I'm into position, I switch back to one-player mode. And then just like before, I need to go into first-person mode and snapshot mode. And I need to be aiming at that, you know, that little golden thing that's on top of the ring. I need to have the snapshot box to be aiming at it. Yeah, once the golden thing is inside the box, switch back to two-player mode. Then, apart from crouching with Mario here, I also have to turn the camera up because when switching back to the game, the camera automatically starts pointing down. So after I point the camera up, and then Cappy just teleports. Let's go, dude! And that's it. Yes. That's for the final CRC of this run. Now, of course, I cannot go up to fight to the Bowser part yet, because before doing so, I need to go fight the bunnies. Oh, you know, not before dying a couple times. Now, the reason why I need to fight the Brutals is because in Bowser Kingdom, you cannot progress on the kingdom until after you have gotten all of the story moons. And of course, the fighting the Brutals is a very important story moon. Because if we go all the way up to where the Mecha Brute fight triggers, without fighting the Brutals first, Bowser is just not there, so the fight doesn't trigger. It's important that we need to do all of the fights in the correct order. I mean, not the fights, the moons themselves. Now, after fighting the Brutals, it's only a matter of going up to the Mecha Brute fight. So yeah, something that should be noted here is that the version that I'm playing on, which is 1.3, I'm gonna need to capture a wire on Bowser's Kingdom, but on the original version 1.0, you can actually skip the final wire. Yeah, here we're gonna grab this nut right here and we're gonna plant it so that we can climb the beanstalk, so that we don't have to capture the Pokio to climb up the wall. But there's a glitch on 1.0 called the nut jump, which you need to grab the nut, then throw it at the pond of water that's all the way down there, and then you can get an infinite height glitch by throwing and capturing the nut midair. That lets you go all the way up to the Mecha Brute fight without capturing this wire. Yeah, unfortunately they patched out that glitch, and in order to get to the fight I need to capture the pylon. You know, it's very sad. I take the wire and I feel so much shame, but I have a 0.3, so I must do 4 caps. And I switch on 1-player mode so that the fight is a little bit easier for me, because for some reason on 2-player mode the cap jumps are the cap throws in here are a little more difficult. Yeah, thankfully after a successful Mecha Brute fight without a single mistake, absolutely flawless, didn't get hit a single time, I was finally done with Bowser's Kingdom, and that was it. Only Moon Kingdom left, and on Moon Kingdom there weren't really any captures to worry about. Yeah, it was only a matter of doing the Moon Keep skip, finishing off the Bowser fight, and go for our 4th and final capture of the run, Bowser himself. Just like that, after the skip sequence, you know, we're gonna take just 1 extra capture for the ride. And we finish off with 1 hour, 50 minutes and 42 seconds. The hardest speedrun category for Mario Odyssey had been done. You know, as much as torturous this was, speedrunning it for freaking 8 hours straight, almost starting to lose my mind, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I probably will do it again soon. You know, here at the end of the run, after getting to Mushroom Kingdom, we check the capture list to make sure we didn't capture anything else, and yes, there it is. Only the Spark Pylon and Bowser on the capture list, nothing else. And yeah, just like that, we finish off the speedrun, finally. But yeah, anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye, bye bye bye, take care, bye.